Hello, everyone. I'm at a little bit of a different angle, sitting in another part of the pool, but the pool looks magnificent, doesn't it? I think I'll probably go in some point today. Am I under the a little dark right now? Let me see if I can. I'm under the umbrella. I can't sit out in the middle of the sunshine. I'll bake like a chocolate chip cookie, which incidentally I just ate three of those Southampton chocolate chip cookies. They're pretty good, man. Sergeant George Ishak, how are you, buddy? Hello, hello. Guys, I almost wasn't going to go live this afternoon because we have a hard to handle. Hello, Kathy Bates. Hello. We have a great show tonight at 9 p.m. But I just, I figure I'm here. I went to physical therapy this morning for my hip. It was pretty good, The last time I had my hip surgery, I had the lamest physical therapist come to my house. They were so terrible. I said, I will never do that again. And I'm not doing it. I'm going to their place. Boxing MMA 365. Hello, Bob Cosmic. Good after morning, Sergeant Bill from the Big Smoke of London, England. Bob Cosmic, London's got to be, it's frying up. It's super hot, right? I think it's in the 90s here today, so we're not all that sympathetic here in the USA. You guys just aren't used to that kind of heat, right? I don't know. Look, I understand global warming and all of that stuff, and I agree we have to do something about it, but it just seems we're moving too quickly. Like, Willez Pony, it's the Supreme Commander. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. Much appreciated. Chloeville 169. Hi, Bill. How's your recovery going? See No Evil 69. I'm doing great. I'm pushing ahead. I'm working hard. I meant to mention this. After I went to get my physical therapy, I walked for 25 minutes. So a 25-minute walk has to be at least a mile to a mile and a half. That's way over a mile. I don't walk that slow. Joe Kane, my financial advisor, my guru, Joe Kane. Good to see you, buddy. He lost his way for about a month or two, but good to see him back. Whenever I have anything to ask, financial-wise, I always ask Joe Kane, retired NYPD captain. He has a company called Finest Financial. Any of you guys listening that are in the New York metropolitan area, he's a great financial advisor. And, cops are famous for asking other cops financial information. And guess what? We don't know shit about financing the way most people don't. So you ask an expert. So if I have to ask anything financial-wise, like tax-wise, I call Joe Kane up. I got his cell phone. 24/7 I can call him, And I go on Facebook and you see cops going, I want to take a loan to I want to take money out of my deferred compensation plan to build a bathroom in my house. It's my money. I'm going to do it. You already decided you're going to do it, even though that's the worst financial advice anyone could ever give you. And then I said, call Joe Kane. They called Joe Kane, and Joe says, absolutely do not do that. This is how you do it. And he tells them how to do it. Whether they listen or not, look, if you call an expert and you don't listen, it's your, whatever happens after that is your fault. Richella Pranzo accidentally called me at 8 o'clock this morning. But that's okay. It's always good to hear from Richella and Lieutenant Pete. I can just imagine Richella out Eastern Long Island in her brand new white BMW. She must look like some hottie, 75, and she's driving this unbelievable Beamer. Even the young guys are beeping at her, I think. They Beamer means big bucks, right, Richella? She's got that great car. Sergeant George Ishak, what's your favorite Kiss song, Sergeant Bill? My favorite song is Detroit Rock City. Oh, Kiss. The biggest hit song. I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day. That's Kiss's big hit song, right? Kiss was a Long Island band, too. Hi, Alice Caffrey. Kim Alliston is on the air. Richella Pranzo, you are too funny, Bill. And guys, I keep telling you, Lieutenant Pete wrote a great article in Newsday last week about his lifetime in uniform, and it was a great, very touching article. If you didn't read it, you can read it on Newsday, or you can go on Facebook. Just run Lieutenant Pete's name on Facebook. He posted it on Facebook, so it's well worth the read. So tonight, guys, I've been waiting to get these guys on the show. Steve Murphy and Javier Pena, and they have the book Manhunters. But more importantly, they had that show on Netflix called Narcos. That was like a huge hit. And I actually got them on the show pretty easily. And actually, they were supposed to be on a couple of months ago. For some reason, I had to cancel and rebook them. But great guys. And you know something? I always love when cops, DEA agents, detectives, they're riding a wave, man. They're going all over the country, all over the world speaking. You imagine what that equals? That equals dead presidents on green pieces of paper. Phil and I are trying to do a speaking tour, but no one wants us. But Javier Pena and Steve Murphy, they're going all over the world on speaking tours. And they're also in demand for potentially new TV shows, new movies. How exciting is that? Imagine that you retired from, I don't know exactly how many years, but they were the ones, them, of course, and a lot of other people, responsible for seizing Pablo Escobar. And we all know Pablo Escobar wasn't taken into custody. He was taken into custody to the Lord by the way of lead poisoning. You know, he decided to shoot it out with the Colombian National Police, and he lost. He lost the gunfight. So they're going to tell that story. Just an amazing story. And you know, back in the late 80s, 87, 88, where drugs were like considered to be a national problem, it's there now. You know, we have Willez Pony, love you, Milwaukee Civilian, love all you guys that come to. Oh man, I have the greatest breeze blowing on my back. Marva Wright, good to see you. Hello everyone, just checking in while watching aboard my fight. Where are you traveling from, Marva? Weren't you traveling yesterday also? Wow, she's getting around the world, you know. Let's take the long way around the world. What's going, Bin Bill? Osama bin Bill, you know, everyone was Bin. Remember that when they killed Osama bin Laden, everyone, they just added Bin to their last name, you know. Tana Family Memories, Patrick Glanville, the Colombian version of Nachos. From Boston to work. Photo files, photography, love it when you sing. Guys, it's a happy day, you know. Any day you're above ground, as they say, is a happy day, right? And then if you're healthy and just loving life, enjoying life, that's what you got to do. You know, to me, I really so enjoy doing this podcast. Norwegian guy, nice pool, Bill. Norwegian Wood, John Lennon. I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. She showed me her room, isn't it good? Norwegian Wood. She asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. So I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. I sat on the rug, biding my time, drinking her wine. We talked until 2, and then she said, it's time for bed. She told me she worked in the morning and started to laugh. I told her I didn't and crawled off to sleep in the bath. And when I awoke, I was alone, this bird had flown. So I lit a fire, isn't it good, Norwegian Wood. That was one of their like Middle Eastern music with the Maharishi. That was one of those influences, you know, that they played the da 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 da. You know, it had that sort of sounding, that Middle Eastern sound to it. And George Harrison used a sitar rather than a guitar. He used a sitar on that song, so it had that song, that sound, you know. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories, go on our YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Give us a thumbs up. Ring that bell, right? And if you want to support us, we have a Patreon, 3 different levels. And we have a YouTube channel memberships with 5, count them, 5 different levels. I cannot believe that in the last couple of weeks, I was demonetized by YouTube 3 times. One for a show about sharks. How is that not advertiser friendly? A show about people on Long Island getting attacked by sharks. Like, how is that not okay? Like, is that a scary show for people? That advertisers are going to shy away from a show about sharks? Another one was the show about NYPD officers leaving the job, not just retiring, but quitting, going to other fields, going to other jobs. They demonetized that too. And then the third one they demonetized was I did a show about Uvalde and about, the videotape and about how it was actually even worse. Kim Alliston, thank you so much for the 20 pound, I guess it is, 20 pound super chat. Thank you so much. Richard Resendez, Jaws, Willis Pony, I love doing the shark show. I thought it was so much fun. And then they're like, sometimes I just don't get it, I just don't get it. YouTube demonetizes a show about sharks. And as far as I know, and you folks that are living out on Long Island, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's still got a shark problem out there, right? I think I saw something I thought today, maybe it was Far Rockaway, that they had NYPD aviation up and they spotted some sharks out in the shallow water in Far Rockaway. I thought I saw that this morning. I mean, not for nothing. That's a New York expression for you guys. Not for nothing, but I'm not going in the water if there's any sharks in that water, Forgive, Kim Allison, forgive if I go away for a short time. Need to serve dinner. Kim, we will excuse you, but come back, please. Serving dinner, it's only like, what is it now? It's about not even 2 o'clock-ish here, right? So the pool looks good, doesn't it? I'm going to jump in later on. It's looking beautiful. Yeah, YouTube, I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. And then I wonder, like, how, and, we've been on Sammy the Bull Gravano's show, and he's been on our show. And actually, to this date, the show he was on of ours was our highest grossing. Will has Pony, again, $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Sharks today, yes. Supreme Commander. I think you guys love that name, Supreme Commander. I pulled that out of the archives. I pulled that out of the mothballs, Supreme Commander. I jokingly used to make my anti-crime cops call me Supreme Commander. It was a joke. It wasn't supposed to be real. It was supposed to be funny. They would say, Supreme Commander on the air. Supreme Commander on the air. And people in the precinct would go, who the hell is the Supreme Commander? Oh, that's the Sarge, Supreme Commander. Marilyn, good exercise. Love the pool. I did some, with the PT today, I did a couple of exercises that hurt. I guess that's the point. If it doesn't hurt, like they say, even when you lift weights, no pain, no gain, but you don't want there to be too much pain. Guys, you know what? I have to make a confession. Since I had the surgery, which is going on 6 weeks, I haven't had a glass of wine in over 6 weeks because it's counterproductive. I'm taking all this medication, and I don't think you really should drink when I'm taking all this medication. But you know what I've been hooked on? And don't judge me. I've been hooked on Haagen-Dazs caramel cone ice cream. And I got these little sugar cones that we used to get when we were kids, and you stuff the ice cream in the sugar cones. Oh my God. Practically every day I'm having one of them before I go to bed. I guess that's my substitute for red wine. Anyone else got an addiction like that? Salty C, how are you, buddy? Grace Green, great to see all you guys. Smiley faces, hands up, prayer emojis, everything. Hello, Peter and Michela. Lieutenant Pete and Michela are probably two of the most popular people in the podcasting world, They couldn't be more popular if they had their own. Kevin Fahey, hi, Bill. How are you, buddy? Richard Resendez, yes, those are good. K.H. Walker, hi from Vancouver. Watch the old cholesterol. Yeah, look, everything has a downside, right? My cholesterol's been pretty good. It's not so bad. Jamie Pimentel, hi, Sergeant Bill. I know a guy on Long Island Railroad. He is a retired conductor. Everybody knew him as Supreme Commander. His greeting. That's funny. I'm sure there's other people that go by that moniker, Supreme Commander, So yeah, tonight at 9 p.m., again, I'll pitch the show. This is the book. They sent this book to me a while ago, Manhunters. And what I was going to draw parallels, and I got to be careful what I name this show tonight, or they'll demonetize it again. But it was the hunt for Pablo Escobar. And he was one of the most vicious drug cartel leaders, the Medellin, Colombia, Medellin cartel. He was one of the most vicious guys. And this was in the late 80s. And it became a national security problem for the United States, such that they put a whole team of the DEA just on Pablo Escobar. And Steve Murphy and Javier Pena, they led this team. And really, two really cool guys. I was listening to a podcast with them last night. I'm not finished with their book. I'm going right to the burning the candle right till the end. I'm going to finish it right before the show tonight. But, it's interesting. Sometimes, as I talk to you guys about podcasting and all that stuff, sometimes you pick a topic and you don't necessarily get a... Pablo took it to the next level after Griselda Blanco. That's the female drug dealer, right? She was vicious too, Griselda Blanco. I read about her. But what I wanted to draw parallels to is that it seems like, Colombia was obviously the cocaine. And I think that Mexico now has segued into different drugs. Of course, marijuana. And now this fentanyl thing, which is a horrible, horrible thing. But don't we have a problem like that with Mexico? And what are we doing about it? We're not protecting the borders, so drugs... Robert Rower, yes, the book is available on Amazon. You go on Amazon, it's called Manhunters. You can order it on Amazon. And they're going to be on our show tonight at 9 p.m. Michael Gibson, been alcohol-free since 1987. My priest told us about wine with no alcohol. Try them in a liquor store. My thoughts are that if you don't drink, why drink something that's imitation alcohol? You probably should just... You know what I've been drinking as a substitute from drinking wine? I've been drinking these 0-calorie Arizona peach iced teas. And, it's good. You're not loading up on calories. You're not loading up on sugar. And that's what I've been drinking. But it's no substitute for California Cabaret, that's for sure. Photo Files Photography, Larray, it's all in moderation. That's the key to life, right? It is the key to life. Willez Pony, Lieutenant Pete's book is Harlem Raiders, and that's by Lieutenant Peter Pranzo. I think he's on Amazon also. So you can order. How easy it is to order a damn book these. How easy is it to order anything these days, right? Schmitty, exactly what I was thinking, Bill. Wish I could say the same about just smoking versus vaping. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know about any of that stuff. I don't do any of that stuff. P. Doyle, bottled Guinness, vitamins and iron. Guinness, look, Guinness, great. You like Guinness? I find Guinness to be a little bit too heavy, Like if I went to a pub, say in Ireland, and they take that, I don't know, what is it? You know exactly how long it's supposed to take. There's a recipe for how long it's supposed to take to pour Guinness out of a tap. And then it has that perfect head on it. But I always found that when I drank a Guinness, it was so heavy. I love the taste, but so heavy. Nothing better, though, than sitting in a pub in Ireland, listening to Irish music and drinking a nice Guinness, right? Milwaukee Civilian, I eat way too much dairy sometimes. Cheese is not my friend. Milwaukee Civilian, one of my favorite things? I'll give you a little recipe what I would love. I love sweet soppressata, that's that Italian salami, and an aged Parmesan cheese with a nice glass of Cabernet. That, to me, is like heaven. P. Doyle, not a summer drink. You're absolutely right. Either is red wine, but I drink red wine year-round. That's my drink. Willez Pony, do you have the new alcoholic whipped cream on your apple pie? Willez Pony, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. I don't even know about that. It's the first I'm hearing about that. But I do love apple pie a la mode. I mean, how do we always wind up talking about food on this show, P. Doyle, try Smithwick's next time you're over. I haven't been to Ireland, a bunch of years. Travel was sort of Robert Rowe, red wine is good for you. Yes, but you know, everything in moderation. But you're right. They say the French with wine and cheese, they have less occurrence of heart disease because of that. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's a fact. K.H. Walker scares tourists away from Long Island. Nikki Bella. Hello, Nikki Bella. Hi, Jamie. Yeah, I haven't traveled because, you know, look, when you go, it's almost 3 years that this, we're going on 3 years, 2.5 years, whatever, that this, well, March was 2 years, April, May, June. So we're 2 years, 4 months since the pandemic. Haven't traveled since this started. You know, I really respected the pandemic for the first, well, for the whole time. But for the first 2 years, I didn't travel. I didn't go out. I didn't go on trains. I didn't go into the city very often, you know. And then I got all my vaccinations, you know, the first two, and then I got the booster. And then I got COVID. So I got shot 1, shot 2. I got the booster. And then June 6th of this year, I got COVID. So I should have all of the resistance to it you could possibly have. You know, isn't getting it supposed to be what gives you a lot of resistance? Having the antibodies to it, that you actually have it? Is there anyone in the chat or in the audience that has had COVID more than once? Put a number 1 in the chat if you've had COVID more than once. You know, it seems like most people I know have gotten it. You know. Patrick Glanville, yes, I have played in a band. You know, playing in a band is a tough thing. Everything you do when you deal with human beings and personalities, it's tough. You know, it's tough. And you know something, I'm not as good a musician as you guys think. I would like to get to the next level, but you know, everything takes a lot of work. You know, even this. To get good at this, you have to do this. I've been doing this now. Wow. I think it's over 3 years now. Over 3 years. I don't even know how many shows. And when we first started out, it was Mark and I. And it was a sort of a different format. Mark was the lead host and I was the sort of the color guy. And then to me, that wasn't working out. So about a year and a half ago, I split to go on my own to do real crime stories. And Mark kept doing what he was doing. And I really enjoyed the real crime stories more. And I think that built the audience. But it's a struggle. You got to keep working. You got to keep coming up with new ideas. I learned a lot of this podcast business from Duty Run. And you always got to keep, what is that old expression? Keep growing, keep going. That's true with podcasting and it's true with life. My son Jake, I'm really proud of him. You guys watched the trailer at the beginning of my podcast with all the police stuff. My son Jake made that. My son Jake's a film editor, and he just got a new job, and they're bringing him. I can't tell you what he's working on; it's top secret. They're bringing him to Texas for like 10 days to work on this top secret project with this editor. He's not really his title. His title isn't an editor, he's sort of an assistant editor. So he's going to be learning from some of the best film editors in the business. So in he's good now, but tough business to get a job in. Probably after he out of college, 1 year to 2 years, he was doing internships, working for free. Actually working for free. So any of you folks that have kids that are trying to get into that business, and you can help them, you can help them along financially, they can't be afraid to work for free and then get their break and then take advantage of that break and boom, you're in. And in the beginning, the pay's terrible, you know? So he's just starting to make, not decent by New York standards, but he's just starting to get paid now. 85 people in the chat, that's pretty damn good. 64 thumbs up. Let's hit 100 today. Today we should be easily hit 100. We're at 24 minutes. I'm confident today you guys get to look at the pool. That's like the Frank Marsha. Good to see you, Frank. Gene Whitehead, Avon representative. Bob Cosmic, Gene White, a good evening to you from South London. How's London today, guys? Is it really, really hot as all hell? Don't go to work. Sit in that air-conditioned room and just talk on the telly, as you guys would say, you know. Schmitty, nice pool. You should jump into it. I'm going to later. Serve your time. He's on the ladder. It's hot as H. Schmitty. Hi, Bob Cosmic. Yeah, you know something though, no matter what you do, no matter what profession you go into, Willis Pony, thank you so much. Holy cow, Supreme Commander. Your intro is fantastic. ESP, the police horses. Yeah, my son made that. My son Jake. He he got mad at me the last time I said he didn't do it for free. I paid him. I forget what I paid him. I don't want to say what I paid him because he'll get mad at me. But I'll put it this way, he did not do it for free, but he shouldn't. His time is worth a lot of money, and he did a fantastic job. In fact, I want him to do another one pretty soon because, you know, you always have to keep updating your stuff, and maybe not a new intro, but an outro. Maybe do an outro, you know, which is pretty cool. And you know, Phil and I had some little file taping. I was on News Nation, and I used my appearance on that, and he cut that into that. And then Phil, they took a little piece of one of our shows, and he's on it. So it just, the flavor of it, I think, is pretty good. Guys, I'm so happy that everyone's here today, that, you know, it's hot as hell. Lieutenant Pete, you're going to jump down to the Long Island Sound today, do a little shark patrol. There's no sharks in the Long Island Sound, though. That's opposite the ocean. You'd have to go to the other side, Lieutenant Pete, right? Lieutenant Pete Pranzo, he can do a shark patrol too, but out by Mount Sinai. You know, that's one of the things. Long Island's a straight run, and there's only a couple of roads that go out east, eastern Long Island, and that's why there's always, if you go out to the Hamptons or if you go out to Montauk, there's so much traffic. You know, it's just Little Mermaid has been past 100 degrees in Southern California. Hot in Texas, Richard Resendez, 104 degrees today. Wow. That's definitely an AC day, air conditioning, right? You stay inside, you drink a lot of iced tea or whatever your drink of choice is, right? Keep America 2A strong, and hey from beautiful South Carolina coast. South Carolina is beautiful, right? Schmitty, 101 degrees here in the Lou. Oof. Beautiful. Bob Cosmic, Gene Whitehead, I heard Max Factor. So, has anyone still been following the Uvalde thing? You know, of course, the horrible shooting at the Robb Elementary School. The more that time dissipates between that shooting and now, the more horrible information they find out about the response to that situation. I thought we did a pretty good job covering it, and again, you can't make everybody happy. Some people got upset that we showed the video that was released by every press organization on this earth, and we used it in our broadcast, and a couple of people were upset that we did. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Okay, well, when you have your own podcast, you can make a decision. Will's Pony, more body cam out of Uvalde. Yeah, horrible, right? Robert Rowan, Mr. Dude, you know, guys, I don't know, someone just was referring to the bodega worker. I don't. Some identify him as a bodega worker, a bodega owner. A guy jumped the counter. He had a dispute with the guy's girlfriend, and he stabbed the guy to death. The Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, was going to charge the bodega worker with murder, which is ridiculous. And I think what probably happened was the governor and several people said, don't do that, don't do that. People do not like you as it is. And there was no standing for him to charge this guy with murder. There's something called justification. And you are allowed by Article 35 of the penal law to justifiably to use deadly physical force to protect yourself when deadly physical force is being used against you. So I don't know what this DA was thinking of. And the guy jumped the counter of the store. You think that's a bit of a, if that was like that's potentially a burglary right there, knowingly and unlawfully enter or remain in a building with intent to commit a crime therein, because jumping the counter, he has no, Robert Rowe, force to force, exactly, meeting deadly physical force with deadly physical force. So this DA, Alvin Bragg, who's a disaster, who's an absolute disaster, he backed off. I don't think he backed off on his own accord. I think the governor probably called him and said, listen, dude, you better back off and let that guy go, or you're gonna get destroyed. And I may be the one to destroy you. In New York State, it's not like California. You can't vote someone out and have them removed, but the governor can have the person removed. The governor can just remove the district attorney. And Will S. Pony, you're right, but no charges to the helper of to the girlfriend of the perpetrator, who is dead now, who started the whole thing. No charges against her. It doesn't make any sense. It just does not make any sense. But this is the world that we live in. Number one thing is the bodega worker / owner, if that's what he is. He's not going to be charged. And I think that had Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA, presented that case to a grand jury, I don't think the grand jury would have indicted. I don't think they would have came back with a true bill. So he may have spared himself embarrassment in the fact that he didn't try to present it to a grand jury. How about the case in Indiana where a guy took out an active shooter from 40 feet away and killed the guy after the guy had killed 3 people? Do you know, like the mainstream media and the left politicians, they don't even want to mention that guy. This guy, because they have these firearm-free zones, and apparently this mall was one of those, but this guy was carrying a firearm for his own protection, and as a result, wound up protecting hundreds of people, and perhaps protected the lives of I don't know how many would have been killed had he not shot the active shooter, but he did. Kim Allison, Sergeant Mill, may the Lord who created the heavens and earth give you his blessings always. Thank you, Kim. Always appreciate a blessing. I'll never turn down a blessing, Cheers, everyone. Frank Marshall, Bill, were taught that in the academy you meet force with equal force, use of force doctrine. Yes, but it's a little bit different for a civilian. Law enforcement is not required to retreat, whereas in some instances, civilians are required to retreat if they're able to. Charlton Heston, yeah, he was one of the now it's LaPierre. What's his first name? Ray LaPierre. Excuse me. He's the head of the NRA right now. Look, the Second Amendment is something that it seems like is under attack. You can be a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, but it seems a lot of the folks on the left, they're not for what they say is, what do they call it? They call it common sense gun reform. That is not what they want. What they want is gun confiscation. You heard it out of my lips. They want gun confiscation. That comes right out of the mouth of Pete Buttigieg. He was for going door to door with law enforcement confiscating people's guns. Read my lips. That will never, ever happen in the United States of America. That would cause a civil war. And I don't think these leftist politicians understand that, Not so Cape Crusader 62. They want the guns, exactly. Yeah, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. And they try to argue that the Second Amendment, it's not constitutional. What do you mean? It's right in the Constitution that you have the right to keep and bear arms. And one of the reasons that the forefathers put that in there was to be able to go up against a tyrannical government. And that's the scariest thing, is our government. You know, I don't want to get so crazy here, but we all watched the riots when they had Black Lives Matter and after the George Floyd thing and Antifa. And many on the left were encouraging those groups to attack people. How are you, and holding the police off from protecting the citizenry? So if the police are not allowed to protect the citizenry, who's going to protect the citizens? You got it. Themselves. And that's why the right to keep and bear arms is so important. Because when the government puts their tail between their legs and goes and hides, they got to protect themselves, you know. They got to protect themselves. And the left and the right are so far away from legislation. Richard Resendez, tell your son to pack his shorts and flip-flops when he goes to Texas. It's hot. You know, my sister's lived in Texas for a long time. She lives in Katy, and I've never been there for whatever reason. And she's lived there for over 20-something years. I just never had I just never went to Texas. I got to get there one of these days, you know. I would imagine some of the places that are beautiful in Texas are Dallas, right? Parts of Houston. What's the new popular place? That's where my son's going. All the young people from California are leaving California and going to this place in Texas. It's the hip, real cool place now. Come on, guys, help me. I can't think of the name of it. I'm having a senior moment, as they call it. You know? All my exes live in Texas. You ever hear that one? Texas. Some people in Texas think, come see the Alamo in San Antonio. Jump on a plane, grab Austin. Beautiful day. That's exactly where my son's going. That's the hippest place in Texas right now, Austin, Texas, right? And that's where my son's going to do the video that he's doing, or helping on the video he's doing. San Antonio, Austin, Texas. That's the cool place. My oldest son, who is in cybersecurity, he lives in Denver right now. Denver's pretty hip too, right? Anyone ever see that Black Rock place? They have the concerts. That looks so damn cool. The amphitheater built out of like the side of a mountain. That looks so damn cool. My son sent me pictures from that. He loves going there to see or hear a concert. See a concert, hear a concert. Guys, we're down to 70 in the chat, 79 thumbs up. Come on, I need quick 30 so I can hit 100. Red Rocks, Chickies. Well, that's right, Red Rocks. What did I say, Bedrocks? I'm thinking of Barney Rubble from the Flintstones. Red Rocks. Have you been there? Anyone else in the chat been to Red Rocks to see a concert? Hard to handle. Thumbs up for Bill, please. Yeah, I mean, some great places, you know, to see a concert. That place, Red Rocks, must be amazing. Someone was saying that you need to be rich to live in Austin, and especially near Red Rocks. It costs a fortune to live there. It seems like it costs a fortune to live everywhere. Patrick Glanville, I saw the Alamo. It was a bit smaller than I expected. Yeah, it seems like everywhere you go in this country, it's really expensive to live, you know. But, you know, every time Phil is always the one that is saying how great this country is. And I agree with him. It's a great country. And we always get people in the chat that disagree with that. Like, oh, this isn't the greatest country. Well, then why don't you go somewhere else? You always hear like these Hollywood types. Whenever any political decision happens or anything happens against their ideology, they always say, I'm leaving. Leave. Go now. No one cares for you. Go leave. You want to go to Canada? Go there. Like, they think that if they threaten leaving, like everyone's going, oh, no, please don't leave. Go. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. You know, it's like they really have a strange take on their value, like as if everyone's going to beg them to stay. No, leave, right? Hard to handle's laughing. Willez Pony, not so Cape Crusader, Linda Cosmo, laughing out loud. Yeah, like who threatened the last time? Bette Midler, that Susan Sarandon. I wish she would leave on the next plane, you know. Some of the others, Jane Fonda. Go, get out, go to the same city in Canada, you know. See if anyone gives a shit that you moved there. Crazy, you know. You know, a lot of the things that all these people with the global warming and the green energy, all the people that are wealthy, it doesn't apply to them. They're all full of shit. You see John Kerry, the energy czar? He's flying all over the world in a private jet. Mr. Heinz Ketchup, he's married to the heir of Heinz Ketchup. How does it make any sense that he's flying around the world in a private jet, yet he's the energy czar? It's the height of hypocrisy, right? Burning carbon all over the place, but they're going to tell you, you should be driving an electric car that costs $66,000 to buy and isn't yet perfected. You should buy one anyway, you know? It's crazy, you know? The whole green energy thing, I'm behind it, but you know something? It's going to take time to implement. You can't do it next year. You can't do it in 2 years, in 3 years. You got to slowly start segueing, start moving over to clean energy. And mention to one of these green energy aficionados, okay, let's start going slowly to nuclear power for our electricity. Oh, no. No nukes. No nukes. Nukes is one of the cleanest forms of energy. Europeans are using it all the time. In fact, now because there's such a shortage of energy, Germany's going back to coal. So this is ill-conceived, ill-planned. It's a bunch of elitists. You know, you can mention a lot of people, you know, they talk about carbon credits and this and that and the other thing. And then you hear they own 5 homes and, you know, 22 cars. Like, are you kidding me? But they're going to point at you, John Q. Citizen, who drives an old car to work, that you're polluting the environment. You know, it's just... Marcello Pranzo, I heard it costs $10,000 plus to replace one of those batteries, and I heard it's also a huge polluter to replace these batteries. Like, how do you get rid of them? Where do you throw them? The same thing was true years ago with and probably still true, with the nuclear rods that they have to get rid of at some point. But they've discovered over the years that nuclear power is one of the cleanest forms of energy. And safest ones, you know. We've all seen these huge explosions in the oceans, on the ocean on these oil rigs, where they just pollute the hell out of the ocean. Horrible, right? Look, I'm all for clean energy, green energy, and then how about the windmills? There's problems with them too. They're chopping birds up into little chop suey, you know? These things start going and birds fly right through it, and they didn't plan on that. And guess what? All of these elite places like Martha's Vineyard, you think they'll put those windmills off the coast of Martha's Vineyard? You bet your ass they won't. There is no way they will. Louis Delicio, what's up, Bill? Good to see you. So when they talk about all of this elitist green energy, they don't mean for them. They mean for you. They mean off your shore, off your neighborhood. They want you to have an electric car, not them. They want a big gas guzzler. They don't want you to use a private jet. They want to use the private jet, you know? John Kerry, unbelievable, that guy. What a clown. What a clown. The energy czar, you know? Flying around in a private jet. The Supreme Commander should have his own private jet to fly over to check on these energy czars, to check with a meter to see their carbon output, you know? See how green they are. Bob Cossack, Martha's Vineyard, N-I-M-B-Y. Not in my B-Y. What does that mean, actually? Not in my B-Y. Grace Green, faith is alive and well. We receive what we project. Positive thoughts bring positive results. I'm all for that. Maui Swift, always great to see you, Maui. Beautiful day, beautiful backyard. Joe Kane, he likes the yard. That's my financial advisor. Joe Kane made it possible for me to have this pool. Not really true. This pool came with the house, you know. I think like to build a pool, to actually build a pool like this in an existing house, I think it would probably cost about 100 grand. Is that crazy? To dig a hole in your yard, right? To put a liner in it and do whatever, it would cost about $100,000. Crazy, right? Yes. Oh, okay, Joe. It means not in my backyard. Okay. No, right. Isn't that what people say? Oh, yes, let's put up some windmills. Okay, let's put them off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. NIMBY, not in my backyard. All right, let's put them off the coast of Montauk. Oh, well, let's put them off the coast of the Hamptons. Oh, no. Let's put them off the coast of Cape Cod. NIMBY. So it's crazy, you know. And all of us, no one wants dirty air, dirty water, dirty energy. Everyone wants clean energy. Everyone wants a clean environment. But you have to do it with integrity, with intelligence, and do it over time. You can't say, oh, in 2 years we're going to go to all electric cars. Oh, really? What are we going to do with the hundreds of thousands of cars that run on gasoline right now? Just get rid of them? Bob Cosmic, ask the Genovese crime family. They'll dig a hole for less. Yeah. But, so it's crazy, you know? And look, anyone that has half a brain, of course, wants clean energy. But you just can't put the switch up, put the switch down, and go to clean energy. It takes time to transition, right? Crazy. And look at, what's his name buying Twitter? I always forget his name. I think of him and the other guy who owns Amazon. He's brilliant. Elon Musk, Schmitty, right? Thank you, Schmitty. Elon Musk is a genius. He still intends to buy Twitter. He's just putting it off and he's going to make them sell it to him cheaper by lowering the stock price. He's brilliant, and these idiots they don't understand it. Oh, let's get the judge to rule against him. As he's waiting and taking his time, the price of Twitter goes down and down and down and down because all of these people that censor anyone that has an opinion against theirs, they censor that person. They don't let them put anything on Twitter that they disagree with. So it's like Elon Musk, Bezos, he's the other guy, right? Bezos. Just think of all the conveniences that we have now that we didn't have 10 or 15 years ago. You want something? You need something? Is anyone going to a store? No. You go on Amazon. Oh, it's in stock. Boom. You get it the next day. Isn't that crazy when you think about it? You have it the next day. When you hear the term brick and mortar, that just means a building. That is a store, a building that's a warehouse. Things of the past, you know. Google, Amazon, Bezos, double rainbows, Kim Alston. That is so. I thought Bezos was no longer the owner. You know, you can't keep track of all this stuff. Frank Marshbill, as soon as the big boys like Exxon shall see how much money they can make with making a change. You know what I want to find out tonight, guys? And again, this is the show tonight. You can see the book here, right? Manhunters, right? Steve Murphy, Javier Pena. You know what I want to ask them? And tonight's show could very well get demonetized just because of the topic. But who's running the drug trade? Doesn't there have to be cooperation from governments to allow this illicit drug trade to run and for these people to make this sicko money? The cocaine trade, the fentanyl trade. Who's allowing it to happen? Are there big corporations involved? Didn't there used to be a war on drugs? What happened to that war on drugs? Does it even exist? Is there even a war anymore? I don't know. Now I'm asking questions. I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't know the answer to that. Double rainbows, yes sir, absolutely. And Bezos with Blue Origin rocket ship. Now let's save the planet. Ha ha ha. Yeah, are the people of the elites, the 5% elites, are they looking down and laughing at us? The common man that works, that goes. You know what I used to call the detectives in the 2-3? The 2-3 squad when I was there, before I went to homicide. It was one of the best squads in the city. And I used to call the unheralded detectives from the 2-3 squad, I stole this from the NFL, I used to call them the lunch pail detectives, meaning that they went to work every day with their lunch in a lunch pail and they did their job, and they did their job excellently. And without any fanfare and without any rewards or any recognition. You know what their recognition was? Overtime. Let them make overtime and they'll get the job done. They'll solve the case, and they'll solve the case every single time because that's how good they were. But I called them the lunch pail detectives. They didn't need notoriety. They didn't need someone to say, these guys are great, you know. They wanted to make money. Let them make overtime. Let them do their job. Good police work costs money, and they did great police work, you know. Now, what parallel am I trying to draw to that? I'm trying to draw the parallel that let the common man do his job. Let him take care of his family. Be fair to him. You know, one of the things that I've been noticing about New York City, which is, I think, one of the reasons why everyone's going to leave, is because they're making the honest man pay too much of the freight. And by that I mean they're allowing people to jump the turnstile. Why are they letting people do that? Because guess what? They're just going to let the common man, the taxpayer, the hard worker, pay for that. You know how he's going to pay for the people jumping the turnstile? Something called congestion pricing. So now if you drive your car into the city and you go below a certain street, they're going to penalize you by taxing you via an Easy Pass that will slap $15 or $20 on your Easy Pass as you cross, let's say, 60th Street. You go below 60th Street, we're going to hit your Easy Pass up for 15 to 20 bucks. You know something? That's not enough money. You know what else? Let's put speed cameras all over New York City. Let's be fair. Let's set them at 35 miles an hour. You go over 35 miles an hour, you're getting a $100 speeding ticket in the mail. Oh, that's fair. Everything designed to go after the taxpayer, the hardworking man. Guess what? I'm out. I'm leaving. I ain't putting up with that shit, you know? And then they're going to try to act like it's your fault that people are shooting each other in this city. But let's penalize the hard worker that has to drive his car. Where's that guy driving his car? Where's he going to park it? Oh, well, for $50 a day, you can put it in a garage. Or we're going to take almost all the spots off the street, so you can't park your car on the street. Because we're going to take those spots and we're going to put a meter on them so the city makes money. Schmitty wrote, preach, laugh out loud. Yeah, sometimes I go on a roll and I start preaching. You guys could stop me when I get, but this is the world according to me, and not just me, other people that think like me, and other people have been around New York City for a long time. They're killing they're killing the taxpayer. They're killing the working man, you know? They're killing the person that lives in the outer boroughs or lives in the suburbs. They're destroying that poor guy with tolls, with speed cameras, with congestion pricing. How about these stupid bicycles all over the place? It's ridiculous. You're risking your life walking on the streets of the city. These city bikes. My God, you're going to get decapitated, you know? I don't know if I can even say much more. I think I went on a rant. Any of you guys agree? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys 95% agree with me. Put a 1 in the chat. And put a 2 if you totally disagree with me. Or 50%. Whatever. You know, put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. Kim Alliston agrees with me. Not so Caped Crusader. BK74, not so Caped. Wow, I'm getting a lot of 1s here. People driving New York. Ginny. Emilio, I love you, Rant. Look, you guys are agreeing with me. No wonder you're on this channel, you know? If you didn't agree with me, someone really posted something on one of the our shows the other night, how much they disagreed with me and blah, 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 blah. And they said, I'm unsubscribing. And I was like, see ya, as I always say. If you don't like this channel, you're a master of your own destiny. You can leave. You don't have to agree with me, or you could stay and disagree with me. But if you have that much animus toward me, maybe, maybe you got to leave, You're not loving us anymore. Peter Pranzo, 4 1s. That's great. Patrick Glanville doesn't agree with me. All right, that's okay. Patrick, you're still allowed to stay. You don't have to agree with me, What does my wife say? My wife, we cancel each other's votes out. My wife is an Upper West Side Manhattan Democrat. And of course, I'm a Long Island born and bred Republican. And we cancel each other's votes out. And she always says, we can agree to disagree. I know she doesn't sound like that, but that's my imitation of my wife. We can agree to disagree, Okay, honey, we'll agree to disagree. Been away, haven't seen you in a while. How you been? That was We Just Disagree by Dave Mason. Great tune. So let's leave it alone, 'cause we can't see eye to eye. There ain't no good guy, there ain't no bad guy. There's only you and me, and we just disagree. Ooh, 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 oh, oh, oh. Great tune. That's an amazing song. Dave Mason, We Just Disagree. Hey, guys, I will give myself one kudo. I can usually come in on pitch. That's pretty good for not like having an instrument or a pitch pipe. And I came in on key. That's not so easy to do. So I'll tap myself on the head, on the back. Oh, good job. Good job, Willie. You came in on key, So, guys, I didn't really even, I'm at 57 minutes. I stayed on, 100 people in the chat? 98 in the chat, actually 100 thumbs up. I probably should go but just realize, guys, tonight at 9 p.m., we got this great show. I would ask everyone to tune in tonight at 9 p.m. I think it's going to be a fantastic show. And I try to make the shows a little bit light. There always has to be humor. I used to take acting classes. Even no matter what you did, some kind of scene, there should be humor, because human beings like to laugh, right? Human beings like to see the humorous side of something. So we try to bring a little bit of humor, whether it's myself or Phil. We want to bring a little bit of humor to it, Like, the other night when we had Mike Cadella on. What a great guy, retired NYPD sergeant, 4th degree black belt in Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Oh my God. Could you imagine being a 4th degree black, and I think he's in his 60s. Guy's in unbelievable shape. 4th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You think anyone will mess with that dude? All they have to do is see his ears. You see that cauliflower ear? That tells you, stay away. Willis Pony, Supreme Commander, actor, vocalist, comedian. Willis Pony, thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your contributions to this show. It's so very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Guys, 58:46. I guess I'm going to come in at just under an hour. Thank you so much for, hanging with me. I had no idea I could carry almost 100 people here for an hour. And, we had some laughs, right? We had a few jokes, a few laughs. We talked about a bunch of things. Phil Leo, Mike Cadella was great. I just subbed to his channel. Guy looks great. He should market his vitamin load up. Mike Cadella, I want to have him on again because I really like him a lot. He's, but it's Mike Cadella. What the hell's the name of his show? Up Against the Wall. Mike Cadella has his own podcast and it's called Up Against the Wall. So subscribe to his channel. Great, great guy. There's some great American heroes that were former NYPD and current NYPD. And we have in the chat here, Lieutenant Pete. We got Joe Kane, retired NYPD captain, who's now a financial advisor. And any of you people that need financial advice, Joe Kane, Finest Financial. You could look him up. You can Google his name. Kane is spelled C-A-I-N. Retired Captain Joe Kane, Finest Financial, and I can't recommend him anymore. Guys, I just hit an hour. I didn't mean to go to an hour. God bless. Thank you guys so much. And hopefully I'll see you tonight at 9 p.m. Have a safe day.